Netflix nuked by boycott. People like to put all kinds of stupid things on their thumbnails. Half the time it's false. What's up, bro? Let me see if I can find a test for you to take. What am I doing? Let's see. I should have a copy of the test over here, but let's find out. I do. Look at that. You may go to any of the tables. You can go right there, over there, in the back. Any of those places is just fine. May the odds be ever in your favor. I have 666 subscribers. We need to get another one quick.
Is this on your channel?
On Ember Learning Labs.
Oh.
We are about to start doing more Meat and Mischief content, though. We're going to shift to, we have always done this type of content essentially for the most part, but we're going to shift it to being actually like called and purposefully a podcast. But yes, we're going to also we're going to put stuff on like Spotify and SoundCloud and whatever else. Apple Podcasts for the people that use Apple products. All right, let's see. Where are we? We are at 2. Oh yeah, no, we're not on 2. We're on parallels. Yeah. 3, 4, and 3, 4 only, right? Equations of lines. Here we go. What numbers did we do? 14 through 42 evens. A bunch of answers over here on the other page, on the other one page. Three, 4, 14. Oh yeah, we need the television, don't we? I don't have my tablet today because it was at 0%, so I left it sitting charging. But I can use my cell phone telephone for the same thing, like I always have done. So true. Ethan said I was old for calling something a cell phone the other day. I said, that lady's talking on her cell phone. And Ethan was like, Dad, you're so old. There's number 14. Flip the camera around. And 16. It's right there. Number 18 is that one. $20 is that guy. 22 is this one. 24 is this one. 26 excuse me, is x equals 2. 28 is y equals negative 2/3 x plus 5. 30 is y equals 5/2 x minus 1. What did we go through, 40? Okay. 32 is y equals 5. 34 is 2x plus 3. 36 is y equals 8x plus 4. 38 is y equals negative 10. And 40 is y equals 1/5 x plus 12 fifths. Oh, we went through 42? Okay. 42a is y equals 15x plus 50. 42b is right here. 42b is the graph. 42c is 7 weeks. And 42d is on the screen. What questions do we have, kids? Okay. You've got math problems. I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but math ain't one. I'm telling you, in geometry, I keep telling these banger jokes. Y'all just sit there like frogs. It's cause I'm old. 18. Write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line having the given slope and y-intercept or points, then graph the line. So for 18, it says that m is 5/11. Well, that is not going to work. I like this particular marker has a hole in it somewhere or something because it died like super fast. Like 2 days. It's crazy. Bless you. What? M is 5/11. And it passes through 0, -3. So, what should we do? Well, we're supposed to write the equation first, but we will do some things. M equals 5/11 x. Is that what you said? No, yeah, huh? That's crazy. M equals 5/11 x plus b. Okay, now what? We haven't written the equation yet. And that is not even right, what I wrote on the board. Because you told me to write it. Psycho. No, just kidding. There's one of those letters that's wrong. Which one? M. What should M be? Y. Y equals 5x, because the M goes by the x, right? Plus b. Now what? Y and x, yeah. I'm going to substitute in for y and x. What are we going to put in for y? What? -3. What are we going to put in for x? 0. What's 0 times 5/11? 0. So what does b equal? -3. That one we really didn't even need to substitute because it's 0, -3. So that's obviously the y-intercept, right? So what is the equation now? Y'all have to like speak loudly enough so that anyone could actually hear you. 5/11 x skill issue. Oh, wait, that's not right. 5/11 x minus 3 is correct. Now what? Graph it. Great. How? Go down 3 and put the thing. Is that what you said? Okay. We're gonna go down 1, 2, 3, and put the thing. And by the thing you mean a point, right? Yeah. Done. We did it. Now what? We go up what? Up 5/11. Sounds great. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We put a dot. I made my scale so large that my ruler doesn't fit, so I'm gonna pretend like I have a long straight edge and do the best I can do with what I have available. If I were you, I would put it on, use the side of my book or something, or the ruler that you're supposed to have. All right? Does this make sense? Good. What other questions do we have, kids? Twenty-six. Passes through 2 points. Two, -1. And 2, 6. This is one that you could technically do without doing all the steps. We're going to go ahead and kind of do all the steps just to make all the points that we want to make. But you could look at the fact that x is 2 on both of them, right? And you could jump straight to the answer. That's possible. Let's go ahead and do all the steps, right? So what are the steps for finding the equation for this? What do we do? Slope, yeah. So how do we find the slope? Yeah, what's the formula? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Great. Oops. What's going to go right here? 6. What about right here? -1. What's going to go right here? 2. What about this one? 2. What do we do? What do we do on the top? Yeah, we could chink, right? We're just going to turn into addition. So we've got 7 over 0, right? 2 minus 2 is 0. Uh-oh, rut-row. If we put 0, 7 minus, words. If we put 7 divided by 0 into our calculator, what is it going to do?
Divided by 0 error.
Yeah, it's going to give us an error. It's going to explode. Boom. It can't do that. If this was calculus, you'd probably write infinity, but this is not. It doesn't work. So it has an undefined slope. All right? So this is what kind of line? A straight one? Yes, it's a straight one. That's true. But it is not a line. It doesn't go it doesn't go it doesn't go it goes right? This is a straight up and down line at x equals 2. X and this one is always 2. Vertical lines always have an undefined slope. So the equation of this line is x equals 2. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And we'd graph it just as easily. We go, our graph. We count over 1, 2. We draw a straight line. That's it. Easy money. It is parallel to the y-axis. It is. That is definitely true. What other questions do we have? 98? 38. 38. Great. Sounds good. 38 is passes through -1. Is it -10? Positive 10? -10. -10. And is parallel to the line y equals 7. All right, tricksy hobbits. Tricks are for kids. Wait, we combine two things. That's insanity. Or is it just ADHD? We will never know. Okay. So, y equals 7. Our line is parallel to y equals 7. What does the line y equals 7 look like? What kind of line is it? It is a 7 line. At y equals 7, right? So is this a horizontal line or is this a vertical line? It is horizontal because y is always 7. So it's a horizontal line. So the line that's going to be parallel to this line is also going to be a horizontal line. And it passes through this point. So what is y always going to be equal to in the line we're looking for? No, that's the line that it's parallel to. Negative something, one of those. Which one? Which one of those is y? The -10. So our line is y equals -10. What? What other questions do we have? 40. Okay. You did watch the notes video, right? Okay, good. So you should have notes on this topic from this year and last year. I'm not saying that you should like have it perfect and not be confused, but you do have notes on it. And I don't know, this is, I know we're in geometry, right? So we're not like we've been doing this for 4 years now. So sometimes I have to remind us of things. So this might blow your mind a little. So strap in. Everybody seated? I don't want to like blow your mind too hard today. You can and should use your notes when you're doing your homework. I know, that's crazy. That's crazy. Also, you know what else is true, and that also might blow your mind. This one really might blow your mind. I don't know that you've ever thought about this before in your life, but you could, maybe even should use the book if you get confused on something. In fact, if you look over right next to problems 37 through 40, you see something in green. What do you see in green? Example 5. So in the book, if you want to like see an example of somebody working out a problem like those problems, where could you go? Example 5. Don't misunderstand. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying you can't be confused, because if that was true, then you wouldn't need me at all, and why are we here? I just want to point out other avenues that you can use along the way. Number 40. We want to find the equation line that passes through -2, 2 and is perpendicular to the line y equals -5x -8. Bless you. Okay. The fact that our line is perpendicular to that line tells us what? Do something with the surface area of the sun. What did you say? Yeah, reciprocal, negatives, all those things. That's absolutely true. What do we got to do with reciprocals and negatives and those things? Yeah, which one? The slope or the intercept? The slope, that's true. The slope is opposite reciprocal of that one's slope. So what is the opposite reciprocal of that one's slope? Is it positive or negative? Where are you looking? Yeah, it's positive, yeah. And then you said 1, and so I got really confused. Oh, 1/5 was where you were going. I got you. Okay. Yes, positive 1/5. That is accurate. It's this one flipped over, and it's the other sign, right? So true. Now we've got our slope. What do we need to do now? We die of old age. What do we do now? What equation? Okay, good. So what is slope-intercept? Y equals 1/5, but yes, 1/5 x. No. See, that's a common mistake. And I'm glad you said it. Actually, quite glad. And I was kind of hoping that you were going to make that mistake because that's one that happens all the time. I'm on these equations. The y-intercept of our line is not necessarily the same as this one. In fact, it probably isn't. You have one chance in infinity for it to be the same. That's pretty bad odds. It's probably not the same. So the equation of our line is not y equals 1/2 x minus 8, probably, right? It has a different y-intercept. That's why they give us this point, because we need this point in order to figure out what our y-intercept is. So it's not minus 8, it's just plus b, because we don't know the b yet, right? It certainly might be. We don't know yet. So how can we find the b now? We can substitute what? Something for x and -2 for x, right? Yeah, that's what you meant. So true. And then the 2 for the y, right? Now what? You do multiply. What's 1/5 times -2? Negative though, right? -2/5, yes. Way to use your brain. -2/5. Now what? Add 2/5. That's true. Plus 2/5. Plus 2/5. And turn the 2 into 10/5. All right? Multiply it times 5/5. Easy peasy. You could also just shove it in your calculator. So 2 plus 2/5 is what? 10 plus 2 is what? 12. So 12/5. Now what? Yeah, so what's the equation going to be? Easy money. Blamio. Okay. What other questions do we have? There will, I guarantee it, be at least one problem like this on the test. Parallel, perpendicular, or maybe one of each. That will happen. Now, something that happens with at least a couple of you often on the test, on tests in my math classes, is you study really hard one thing. You have to study all the things. If you don't like that because it's a lot, start studying sooner. You can study all the lessons that we've done before we finish all of the lessons in the chapter. Okay? Easy peasy. Get that vocabulary in your brain. Do some extra problems. If you do the practice test, ask for the answers so you can know whether you're doing it right. If you're not doing it right, figure out why you're not doing it right. How could you figure out how to do it right if you're not doing it right? You could send me a message. Sure, that's one way you could do it. Yeah, you could go walk down the hall. That's true. How else could you figure it out if you are not getting it right? Well, that's the same thing as talking to me, right? Yeah. Schedule a time to work with me. Sure. As long, and I cannot stress this enough. As long as you are doing your part, I will help you. But if you're like, hey, can I schedule some office hours, and you haven't watched the video or done your homework, I'm going to say no. Not till you help yourself first. What are some other ways you could figure it out if you're not getting it right? You could go back and watch that's true. You go back and watch our classes. That's true. What else? You could do more homework? No, that doesn't make sense. You could look at the homework. Nah, you don't want to look at the homework if you weren't doing it right to begin with. That don't make no sense. But there are some places you could look. You could look at your notes. You could look at quizzes. You could look at the book. I already went over that today. You could watch somebody else's video. There's all kinds of different ways you can get this. So if you're making 35s on tests or whatever you're making, 45s, 65s, something clearly is not quite right. One of the advantages to having a class is you get to learn how to an adult as part of your class experience. It's great. Part of that is learning that you are and will always be, always have been, and will always be responsible for your own learning. That has always been true. It will always be true. You will always have been, always will be self-employed. Always. You are always responsible for you. What? Nobody can understand anything you're saying. Great. Even if you lose your eyesight, you can still function. That's crazy, bro. Actually, there's a guy on the internet who is blind, who is straight up blind, not like can't see very well, but is straight up blind, and he's a full-on carpenter. He uses a table saw and he is blind. It's crazy. Anyway, any other questions from this lesson? Take a quiz, shall we? I'm even going to agree with past me that we're going to do that problem and that problem. Although I think I might disagree slightly with past me and add one more problem. I kind of think that that's a good idea. I think we're also going to add that one. Yeah, that's a good idea.
More problems equals more points. So you have more padding.
If I only give you one problem and you screw it up, you might be just like have a 12 on accident.
Quiz 3-4. Pages 202 and 203. Numbers
29, 37, and 39. Ready, go.